Good evening, participants, and Happy New Year. My name is Dr. Mrs. Ikonne. I'm presenting a paper co-authored with Dr. Mrs. Joy Chikezie titled Assessment of Multiple Intelligences and Effective Teaching and Learning of Igbo Language in Southeast Geopolitical Zone, Nigeria. Igbo language is an indigenous language spoken by 5 states of the Southeast Geopolitical Zone of Nigeria. Igbo language is the supreme expression of the cultural heritage and its vital roles in cultural revival, research, teaching and learning cannot be overemphasized. Although Igbo language is one of the major Nigerian languages stipulated in the National Policy on Education to be used as a medium of instruction in the first 3 years in school, there is general lack of interest in and poor attitude towards the teaching and learning of Igbo language in our schools. It is suspected that ineffective teaching of the language is a major contributing factor. Teaching becomes effective when teachers strive to motivate and engage learners while understanding the range of abilities of the students and that they learn best if their cultural background and abilities are acknowledged. Teaching and learning Igbo language can be effective if instruction is based on multiple intelligences, which affords the teacher a better understanding of the learners, whereas learners learn in a variety of ways, becoming in control of their learning. Multiple intelligence-based instructions are ones that take into account the different learning styles of students and different intelligences they use in day-to-day living. Traditional way of instruction, which is largely teacher-centered, addresses students in the same way without taking cognizance of the fact that learners have their individual differences, learning styles, and possess different intelligences. This approach has hampered effective learning of Igbo language. The present study, therefore, aimed at exploring the effectiveness of multiple intelligences applied in the process of teaching and learning of Igbo language as indigenous language in Southeast Geopolitical Zone, Nigeria. Specifically, the role of multiple intelligences in teaching and learning of Igbo language is application and implication in the Igbo language classrooms. Multiple intelligences theory was propounded by Howard Gardner in 1983 as a challenge to the definition of intelligence as an ability to find solutions to problems through a knowledge base or skill set measured with intelligence quotient tests, and also a result of addition of genetic and environmental factors. He extended the definition of intelligence to include a set of skills of problem solving, enabling the individuals to resolve genuine problems or difficulties that they encounter to create an effective product, and the potential for finding or creating problem, thereby laying the groundwork for acquisition of new knowledge. He further argued for existence of discrete intelligences in human beings as against a single cognitive ability, and hence theorized that people are not born with all the intelligence they ever have. He defined multiple intelligences as the ability to resolve problems or devise products that are of significance in a particular cultural setting, and proposed 9 types of intelligences as follows. Linguistic/verbal intelligence, the ability to use words effectively. Use of oral or written languages as it is conveyed in books, poetry, speeches, or oral presentations. There is logical and mathematical intelligence. So this revolves around the capacity to use numbers effectively and reason well. This intelligence includes sensitivity to logical patterns and relationships, statements and propositions, functions, and other related abstractions. There is spatial and visual intelligence. Here, it revolves around the ability to perceive the visual spatial world accurately and to perform transformations upon these perceptions. It includes ability to understand maps, graphs, charts, and artwork by drawing, illustrating, or photography. There is also bodily or kinesthetic intelligence, and this is the ability to use one's whole body to express ideas and feelings, and facility in using one's hands to produce or transform things. This intelligence includes specific physical skills such as coordination, balance, dexterity, strength, and flexibility. There is musical intelligence. This is the capacity to perceive, discriminate, transform, and express musical forms. This intelligence includes sensitivity to rhythm and rhymes, pitch or melody, and timbre or tone of musical piece. There is interpersonal intelligence, the ability to perceive and make distinctions in the moods, intentions, motivations, and feelings of other people. This can include sensitivity to facial expressions, voices, and gestures, the capacity for discriminating among different kinds of interpersonal cues, and the ability to respond to cues in some pragmatic ways. The interpersonal intelligence revolves around self-knowledge and the ability to act adaptively on the basis of that knowledge. The intelligence incorporates having an accurate picture of oneself, awareness of inner moods, intentions, motivations, temperaments, and desires. The naturalistic intelligence has to do with the ability to appreciate, categorize, classify, explain, and connect to feelings encountered in an individual's environment. It includes being sensitive to natural phenomena. Existential intelligence is the appreciation of spirituality and understanding questions about life, and related to exploring human existence in the life as it relates to exploring human existence in the universe. There are different kinds of roles that the multiple intelligence can play. The theory showcases the following rules. One, helping students develop a better understanding and appreciation of their own strengths and their preferred learning styles. Developing better understanding of learners' intelligences. Providing a variety of ways for students to learn and to demonstrate their learning. Helping learners feed and satisfy their curiosity. Helping learners develop problem-solving skills. Helping learners discover and rediscover themselves. Helping the learners adjust to both individualistic learning as well as group action. Being a facilitator of knowledge, providing students with multiple ways to access contents to improve learning, and providing students with multiple ways to demonstrate knowledge and skills in order to increase engagement and learning. Application of multiple intelligence theory in Igbo language teaching and learning includes application of linguistic/verbal intelligence. This intelligence includes ability to manipulate the syntax, phonology, semantics, and pragmatic dimensions of language. Activities like browsing the library, keeping diary, playing word games like puzzles, scrambles, storytelling with peers, and taking turns to read parts of a play will help learners who want to develop linguistic intelligence. Logical/mathematical intelligence. The process involved are categorization, classification, inference, generalization, and calculation. Students being taught to develop this intelligence with focus on language learning will be required to do the following activities: watch television shows about science, visit local science museums, sequence events into storyline. Spatial and visual intelligence. People who prefer to use this kind of intelligence will rather draw a paragraph than write a paragraph. Language learners who wish to develop spatial/visual intelligences would engage in activities like jigsaw involving language, cutting out favorite pictures from magazines and making Ikonne, paying close attention to television advertisements, films, and video they watch. Body musical intelligence. This type of intelligence makes some students more attuned to accent and pitch in language study. Those in this kind of intelligence usually hear music in their heads and learn songs quickly. To develop musical intelligence within language class, students should sing Igbo songs with musical instruments, keep record of all the music learned during the day, and learn to differentiate kinds of music. Bodily kinesthetic intelligence. The total physical response approach to language teaching and learning hinges on the use of bodily kinesthetic intelligence. In language learning based on this type of intelligence, students are required to enroll in dance, drama, mime, or act a story involved in sports in the neighborhood. Interpersonal intelligence. This type of intelligence is best activated by cooperative learning structure. Activities like joining a club, a school, or neighborhood, interacting with at least one person each day out of class, going to where Igbo language is spoken and spending time watching people interact with one another, etc. will help students develop interpersonal intelligence in relation to language learning. Intrapersonal intelligence. This allows for independence and self-reflection and related to metacognition and the ability to monitor self. For students to develop their intrapersonal intelligence with language learning in focus, they need to engage in activities like recording their thoughts and feelings in a daily journal, listing their strengths in their language learning and areas in which they need assistance. Naturalistic intelligence. Here, this type of intelligence is concerned with observing, classifying, and understanding the parts of the physical environment, as well as showing understanding of natural phenomena. Activities that develop this type of intelligence with reference to language learning include studying environment, nature, plants, and animals, reading Igbo books or watching television shows that feature nature, talking about preferred natural places to peers. They can also be involved in nature talks. Existential intelligence. Those with this kind of intelligence have the ability to summarize and synthesize ideas from a broad unit of study. Implications of multiple intelligences theory. Igbo language teacher is expected to motivate and activate the students' minds regarding the 9 types of multiple intelligences. Applying the activities identified will help the students improve in language learning. Another implication of multiple intelligence theory in language learning is that the teacher is required to adopt methods that will focus on particular intelligences. Assessment of abilities required to measure all forms of intelligence, not just the traditional linguistic and logical/mathematical intelligences, emphasizing only basic language skills of listening, speaking, reading, and writing, but activities like singing, storytelling, drama, cooperative learning, etc. Conclusion: in the Igbo language classroom, it is possible to present instructions that inform detailed knowledge about students' specific strengths, needs, and areas for growth. Teachers embracing and making use of the 9 different types of intelligences described by Gardner will enable them to design activities that take into account the students' attitudes, interests, aptitude, and levels in order to keep them engaged, involved, and motivated in Igbo language class. Again, teachers who use multiple intelligence theory to develop their lessons find that they gain a deeper understanding of students' learning preferences and a greater appreciation of their strengths. Hence, students are likely to become more engaged in learning as they use learning modes that match their intelligence strengths. Based on the conclusions above, the following recommendations are made. Teachers should recognize, acknowledge, and appreciate the uniqueness of every learner and hence be prepared, patient, flexible, and engaged. Also, curriculum planners should enrich the Igbo language curricula with extra activities based on the multiple intelligence theory. Teacher training curriculum on methodology of language teaching should be extended to accommodate multiple intelligence theories approaches. Workshops and seminars should be organized for teachers on the multiple intelligence theory and its educational implications. The awareness of the multiple intelligence theory and its implications in education in general and in language teaching and learning in particular should be spread. And finally, teachers should embrace multiple intelligence-based instructions so that no child will be left behind in the Igbo language learning. Thank you for listening.